Now we're in business. All right. So if you're just tuning in, let me catch you up really quick. Let me capitalize it the way that George Daigle does. Now, Mixx Atlanta is a restaurant and an entertainment venue. And recently, they've been doing some construction and in communication with the neighbors that are directly behind the venue. They've been talking back and forth, and there was an expansion of the business. And all parties were involved in that expansion, constant communication, and mostly it was a noise ordinance that was an issue with the Ansley Park that is behind Mixx Atlanta. So, in good faith, the management of Mixx Atlanta decided, okay, let's talk. Let's see how we can fix this, rectify this. Let's soundproof this area. Okay, you like this? Okay. They brought in the Ansley Park engineers, sound engineers, and used their information and instruction on how to create this soundproof environment. Now, fast forward, the venue has done their due diligence. The venue is up. It is soundproofed. Well, now they have they want to do business with the Atlanta Beltline and serve food right there during the day, so that they can recoup that money that they made. Okay, fast forward to that. They are getting ready to apply for the license for that, and in the process, they were told, "Hey, you did build it. Yes, you followed all the ordinances, but it hasn't been enough time for us to assess whether this is really going to work." So 2 years have passed. No tickets, no ordinances, no sound, no issues, none of that. Suddenly, as they're getting ready to move forward with the process again, an officer shows up at the venue on one of the slowest nights of the week, a karaoke night. Now, all of you, if you've ever been to a karaoke, y'all know it's not booming, it's not blasting, it's not a dance party, which is a total different level of sound. An officer shows up and says, "Hey, your neighbors sent me, who I work for, to write you a ticket for a sound issue." Now, we are now at the process where, hey, what's going on? What's happening? And Chris Higgins, the manager of Mixx Atlanta, will take it from there. Where are we at now?
Okay, so we got the ticket, which is a pending ticket. We haven't been to court. We haven't been found guilty of. But when we go to the first step of the city process, the second step was to go to the ZRB, which is the Zoning Review Board, and it's composed of, if I'm not mistaken, it's composed of citizens as well as I think a council person may oversee it, but if I'm not mistaken, it's citizens. So we present our case and show, and in the process, you tell them what you want to do and how you want to do it in this, and they make a decision, and they take that decision to the zoning board, which is comprised of a few members of the city council, and mind you. Our city council person, who is Jennifer Ides, we reached out to her. We couldn't get any response. We couldn't get her to return an email, phone call, or show up or anything. Now her assistant Lance, he did come to a meeting, but kind of gave off that he saw where we were going, and it was everything was in good faith. So we're thinking everything is good or whatever. But as it turns out, it was kind of like a bait and switch. So while this group, the president of the neighborhood, Paul, and another member, Jane, was working directly with us and in negotiations about things we need to do moving forward to assure that we still had a good relationship. It was a subgroup, which is one of the residents named Matt. I'm not sure if he has a title, but he was the person that sent the officer to write the ticket. He told me personally in a meeting, or told a group of us in a meeting personally, that he sent the person to write the ticket.
Now, Chris, I'm going to ask you this question real quick. Mm-hmm. There is your venue, mm-hmm. which is largely an urban African-American audience, mm-hmm. and there are a couple of other venues which mm-hmm. are not largely African-American mm-hmm. venues. I'm going to say it like that.
Yeah.
Now, could
historically one has kind of changed and kind of matches and kind of be kind of where we are.
Please.
And I kind of see where you're talking, and so we asked them directly, was it a gay thing? No, we have gay neighbors. Was it a butt thing? No, no, we're not. It's not that we a gay thing, but our people don't go to they don't really go there anymore because it's changed, and since it used to be a, a venue and they went out of business for whatever reason, because they went out of business and and it was bought by someone else, and the new owner, when they came in, the clientele did kind of change to kind of look more like our clientele.
Now you know there was a hidden word in that sentence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what will kind of come in. So mind you, we're at the ZRB, the Zoning Review Board, where at this time it wasn't my knowledge, but they're going to recommend to the zoning board to either deny us or be in favor of us building this deck.
And who is they? The neighborhood.
The ZRB consists of citizens, and and I think maybe a council person sits on it or oversees it. I'm not sure, but the process is that they make the decision, the recommendations to send to the zoning review board, and they tell you why. So the recommendations that they send us a paper, and we get the facts or whatever. So of what the reason they make the decision they do. So the MAP person, as well as Rose, who lives in the condos in the same neighborhood, oppose, and they have a lot of negative things to say. They bring up that we have tickets. We have tickets. This, the other. Mind you, we haven't been. Like I told you, it's a pending ticket. It hasn't been. We haven't been found guilty of, and that they've had this issue with us for quite some time. So when we got the findings back from the ZRB, the findings were technically we met all the parking requirements, the distance requirements, every technical requirement, no issues with. Our issues were the issues that they had. The reason they were denying us to do this were one, they felt as though we on the deck was part of it was going to be covered, and then we were going to have rolled down plastic, and that they said that well, that rolled down plastic will probably only be used in the wintertime and won't be enough to prevent noise, and based on our clientele and we would not be able to control them coming out on the deck and making noise and being a disturbance. And those were the reasons that we were denied at that point.
Now, during the 2 years, was the deck open?
No,
it was not open.
No, okay. It hasn't been built. We have to get a special use permit to actually build it. You can't build it until you pass all these things, or you're not supposed to.
Okay. All right.
So we're going through the process.
So the deck is the issue now.
Yes, it's a 2,000 square foot deck, which will consist of tables, which consists of dining tables. We're going to have a fire pit for barbecuing, a pet area for like if people want to bring their pets up off the belt line, and like I say, a 2,000 square foot deck.
Now with this, and I'm just and I.
Mm-hmm. And we also, and one of the things that we agreed to was that because we want it just for dining and for our restaurant, we didn't want it for our nightclub.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes. So we had an agreement. We put in our thing that we were going to close at 10. We would close it at 10. Take our last customer at 9:30. It would be closed down at 10. The noise ordinance states that the noise ordinance starts like 9 or 10 anyway. So that's why we arrived at that time. Now, mind you, next door to us, our neighbors have a deck that stays open to 3 a.m. And previously, a neighbor that was there before, which is Amsterdam, they closed due to the pandemic, and even so, it doesn't put us on an even playing field to where we to where competition. They can have decks, but we can't.
Now,
And
here's my question, and I don't know if
and
you
it's
had.
another venue, mind you, that's less than a mile away who does the same thing on a bigger scale, of course, than we do, which is the Park Tavern. It's a restaurant. They rent out their facility for events, for weddings, for parties. I've thrown a party there at the same type party we have on Friday night. The actual promoter, actually, now that I think about it, actually did his parties at the Park Tavern. So it's the same thing, and it's less than a mile away.
Now, do any of those venues, to your knowledge, do they have ordinances of the same type, sound issues? Any of that?
Technically, the sound issue is a city ordinance, so everybody has that thing. But the pushback that we get, I don't see them getting. I do see our neighbors getting that same type of pushback as far as sound. I do see them getting pushback. Now, I don't know if they did before when it was another venue, but I see them. I see other venues in the plaza getting pushback as well.
But none of them. But none of them have done what you have done as far as the construction.
Not the extent, but they have made some changes to what they do, to what they do, and everybody's put in the plaza. I can't say is putting in money. We put in a major amount because we wanted to change the whole trajectory or whatever it is of our business and go on another level because we want to be known as a restaurant. We're not whatever. So we kind of went farther, but everybody has. But who hasn't put any money? Because it also was suggested by that sound person that they change their windows, that they build a fence or put up hedges or something to help
become a sound barrier.
Noise, to be a sound barrier as well. They haven't spent a dime. They haven't did anything. But every venue, because they've written tickets to other venues in the plaza. I don't know the nature of their tickets, but I do know that they've spent money on building festivals to where you come in and it's a room and then you go in. One club did that to where it's like a little box you go in. So when you open the door, it's just like noise shooting out, and put up soundproof curtains. Another venue told me they did. So everybody's putting money except them.
So let's go to this city council meeting.
Okay,
that happened last night.
Okay, so what happened after the ZRB is we find out that that's it. So now what they've said is on record, and this is what decisions are being made of. We have no more say. We can't submit any more paperwork. We can't defend ourselves or anything. So it went from the ZRB to the zoning board. They read those comments, what I just told you. We wouldn't be able to control these people, and they would come out on the deck and make noise, an assumption that's the reason we were being denied. So the zoning board rubber stamped that we didn't get to say anything. We called them. We're blindsided, so we called them the day of the zoning board meeting and asked them could we postpone it so we could tell our side of the story. They were like, no, we've already voted no on it. But the meeting's at 7 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, y'all are telling us that y'all have already voted and it's a no. So I don't know if that's due to COVID or whatever. So now the next step is city council. So then we try to get off the city council's agenda. Just, hey, we want to tell our side of the story. No, you can't submit any more paperwork. That all you can do at this point, you can. Will we get to speak at city council? No, it's a live meeting, and you can call in the day before between 4 and 7. The community can. So we mind you at that point we started a petition a few weeks before, right around the zoning thing. And got quite a few. We have quite a few signatures. We reached out to other council people. The only one that returned the call, or Lisa Moore had conversation with some of our people, and Antonio Brown did reach back out to me, call and talk to me, and said he was gonna kind of see what was going on, but everybody was trying to defer to our council person. So when we get to the so then we're at the point to where we're going before the city council yesterday, and now we have people telling the people on that signed the petition, if you want to call, this is the number you call. And quite a few people called, um, and only to find out that when it came up yesterday on the agenda, it came up, it didn't have the name of the club, which is probably just due process. It came up, it just had the address, filing. The recommendation was to deny it. And then, and mind you, the messages that were left for the city council to hear were all, uh, the voting was done. Then the messages were played after. And it was 17 hours worth of messages,
Wow.
and hours were mixed in because of something else going on,
Okay.
whatever that a lot of people called in. So our messages are in between those messages, but 17 hours worth of public comments, and you know, um, you know, that's kind of where we are. So yesterday they rubber stamped this. Based on those false accusations.
Yeah.
And it was rubber stamped at the zoning board. And yesterday it was rubber stamped at the city council just because that without us being able to say anything.
So you had to meet. First of all, it sounds like they had already made their decision. Everybody
Correct.
had made their decision before you. Is there anything? Is there another process after this? Is there another application process? Or
We don't know. We were trying to reach out to several people to see, because we've been told at one point that we have to wait 2 years before we can reapply.
wow.
We don't know if it's true, but I do have someone in city government checking to see when we can reapply and go about this a different way, not being blind to the fact. But at this point, we don't know where we go from here.
Now I'm going to ask you this question. I don't know if you can answer. You can tell me no, or if you need to call your lawyer. At this point, you've spent an enormous amount of money.
Correct.
You've done your due diligence. You've been in communication with the neighborhood, organizers, and been usurped.
Yeah, and I've always been told that they make recommendations, they don't make the decisions. But in this case, it was that I feel as though that's what happened, that they made the decision because it was rubber stamped from that point on.
Mhm.
When we had the meeting with them and when we had the meeting with the ZRB. At no other point did we get to defend ourselves.
So does it become an issue between the venue and the neighborhood organization? Is there at some point where litigation has to happen that way? Because of the expenditures and everything that you've done. I don't know.
That's something that may if it could or could or could not. It's just like right now we're at a point to what do we do? Like what we can't, like I say, I have reached out to a few people. The mayor, I went to a function she had, which was a welcoming function for the Black Gay Pride.
Yes.
And it was a lot of people there that kind of gave me names. Malik Brown was one who is actually the LGBTQ advocate for the mayor, which is something she started when she became mayor. And he's kind of like a mediator, and I've known him to help people out, but I yet to get a response, a reply from him. But hopefully I will, and that he can hear the issues and make a decision, because it's not just like what we want or want someone to do something for us. It's we want to be done what's right and what's fair.
Yeah, and
go through due process with a chance to do business like any other business, tax-paying business. We employ over 100 and something people, and with that expansion, we would employ even more. And most of the majority of our employees are Black, and some are. The majority are gay as well, and that wouldn't have the opportunity to work in a venue of this nature or on this on a platform like that if we wasn't there. Now our license or nothing is in jeopardy for us to operate, but to expand and to progress in business is what we want to do. So it's not like, oh, we're getting put out of business or we're not doing good business. That we're doing, but it's like we've hit a glass ceiling. Like, oh, you could do that. Don't know you can't build a deck because our deck was going to be, or hopefully will be something. It will be one of the nicer ones in Midtown, and it's a lot of other venues in Midtown that have them. But it will be really nice. It's 2,000 square feet, and it's really really nice. We're known to have a pretty nice venue.
Very
anyway.
Yes.
It's gonna be nice. It's not just gonna be. It's not a hole in the wall.
Now, here's one question: Is there something that the community can do to help support? Is there somewhere they can call? Is the petition still active?
The petition is still active. You just go to mixxatlanta.com/help Mixx, and that's MIXXATL, and that's where you can sign the petition.
And we'll post that up on the video so people can get that information.
And then and then another thing that's unique about us, and because we have a niche clientele, or we have our demographics don't just come from our area. We come from all 6 counties, and from most city council people, someone in their neighborhood comes or visits or benefits from us being open. So it's like the signatures that we have are coming from every district, not just ours.
Wow.
So if people could just reach out to their council person, tell them, hey, look at this. Don't let it, not like a blind eye, investigate this. Because our hopes yesterday was to be taken off the agenda, or for them to table it, for us to tell our story, or to tell our side. Mm-hmm. We weren't saying, oh, pass us because of this, or just pass us, or do this, or just approve it. We want it to be tabled.
Yeah, because
so we could tell our side of the story, and we could defend what's being said. Mind you, as we're sitting here today, our lawyer and the manager that was on duty are in court for that ticket now. So it's like we haven't been. That ticket is still something that's pending that we haven't been found guilty of.
That's all I was going to say. Now we got a couple of minutes before we have to wrap up. But here's what I was going to say: if that ticket is thrown out, or if you can see that there was malicious intent behind the ticket, which is really sounds like, what does that do for the process that has already gone forward? Because
we hopefully, my hope is that there's an appeal process. Mm-hmm. If the mayor could do something, because it is a process between after they voted no, and it is a period of time where the mayor can do something. I don't know if it's called veto, or she can say, hey, look at this, or whatever. So my hope is somebody can hear our story and say, hey, we need to look at this again. And that's all we want, is someone to look at it again
fairly
and give us a fair chance of doing what we need to do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you can go to the petition, which we will post on the video, and support Mixx Atlanta. It is one of our venues, and they do great business. I love going there. Chris is great people, and if you've ever had the experience of being there, then you understand that an expansion of any business, taking it to another level, especially after experiencing the pandemic, is vital to the life and blood. Now, they're not closing down or anything like that. Don't get scared and closing down, but it's just the whole process. So watch the video, get the details, get the information, and then please sign that petition. Thank you so much, Chris, for coming in, because I really wanted to tell this story, because I love you guys over there.
Thank you.
In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, keep it where you got it. We've got more sizzling subjects, trending topics on the way. This is the We Are You Morning Crew. Good morning.
R&B, hip hop, and